Hi, Joe Glavin with City Floor Supply, and welcome to our repair shop. As you can see, we have some red equipment around us. I'm joined by Jerry Brainerd of Revolution Manufacturing. And truly, I really have been joking around about this, but it's what we've got here is revolutionary. What a great play on the words. The Rev Rider from Revolution Manufacturing. What you see around us is everything that it's capable of. Tandem 12s, original OEM, factory stock.
Tandem 12s.
Tandem 12s with
Modified.
adjusted and modified with aftermarket parts to raise the handle. So we have tandems with aftermarket adapters on them for the handle tubes and the control rods. We also have a floor crafter back here that is also adapted for the Rev Rider. And then Jerry, you take it away. You're sitting on what?
Yeah, we got edger hookup here, which we can hook up to any edger, but we have a B2 here today, as well as a trailer to haul in and out your supplies.
Jerry was getting ready this morning to come in here. He literally took this Rev Rider in that cart and drug it in, trailered it on that Rev Rider attached.
Yep.
So if you're going in and out of the gym floor job site,
Electric cords,
Yeah.
sandpaper,
everything,
everything.
you can bring it in because why? This puppy is battery operated.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that-
Battery operated gives you much more versatility in what it can be used for. Not only is it going to pull your American 12s, run your edger around the outside edge, and it's going to bring your supplies and equipment in. So not only this Rev Rider is so versatile, it doesn't just run your American 12 sanders. It does do that. It also runs your edger, your trio, your buffers, and it can bring in your supplies via this trailer. Your supplies, your equipment, your wires, your cords, whatnot.
So commercial guy here's battery operated because these guys run battery scrubbers that they take in and out of jobs to do
Buff and
buff and
recoats, yeah.
recoats. So they want to know time frame. What's it? How long is it going to last them?
The battery itself, this one will take 3,000 charges. So that's quite a
Oh,
while.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to charge it probably, even if you charge it 5 times a week.
And the runtime?
The runtime for the two big sanders connected
for
in
these two
tandem,
12s.
yep, that's about 7 to 8 hours. With a single floor crafter, we're talking about 12 to 14. Okay. Same with the edger. You actually get some regen on the battery because it's when it's pulling towards the wall, it's actually revitalizing that battery.
Really?
But then when you're coming back, it's really sucking
it's
from it.
draining.
So, yeah. So
Because
but
what is that pull? Yeah.
I'm going to say 800 pounds.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
when that's on
when it's
24 grit with full pressure, you're pulling back.
I'm guessing in the 800 range.
Right.
And this unit here weighs 200 pounds. And the way we've designed it has enabled us to take this small of a unit and pull that much power.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Jerry of Revolutions and I met probably 25 years ago.
Close to it.
Jerry's an engineer, University of Minnesota.
Wisconsin.
Yep. And so 25 years ago, we were, my brother Michael had met with a family friend of his and said, hey, you should connect with these guys. They're going to be opening up a distribution place down in Philly. And he gave us a call, and we originally started with these guys.
Yep.
Right?
With drums.
With
Yep.
drums.
And probably the American 8, the F89, and the American 12.
That's right.
Because that's all I could do back then. And then I
Yeah.
started adding the 504,
That's
the
right.
CF12, everything kind of kept going.
Everything, and then he needed cores, so we'd send cores out.
Yep.
And so they would come back balanced, covered. they were one of the only ones that would really ever work on, these 12s, because that 12 is putting a lot of heat and a lot of torque on that rubber, and
It's a lot of power.
And they work, yeah. It's a lot of power. So his adhesive on this natural rubber worked. Then he developed vulcanized rubber, because there are several manufacturers of floor sanders that use vulcanized rubber.
Yep. There's probably about as many, about half and half.
Right.
They got the Pro Sands, the KTs,
That's right.
The Floorcraft or Hummels.
So, just talk about the open design of this, like as far as other equipment that it would run, not just the type like buffer, edge, or sander, but the manufacturers.
Okay, we've had this hooked up to the Trio from Lagler, the Hummel, Super Hummel, and the 8-inch Hummel.
Right.
We haven't done a Randmeister yet, but we just haven't had the opportunity to
You're
yet.
just looking at it.
Yeah, it's just and the way the Randmeister's wheels are out there, it's perfect to hang on to. So that's perfect. We've done the Pro Sand, we've done a K&T machine, we did the Galaxy machine, and being that that's so aggressive, it works really good with this setup.
Yeah, if anybody's familiar with the Galaxy, that machine is very aggressive, very heavy on the pounds.
Yep.
Per square inch on that sanding drum when you're up it's almost infinitely adjustable.
Yeah.
With that notch and then that back pressure spring. So
Yep.
that's great.
We call Crazy Eights, 2 8-inch Galaxy machines hooked up together. That's
pulling.
Yeah, that's pulling. We work with a company called Workmaster. They're into the
they do concrete grinding.
Yes.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. And we've hooked up to their machines now, and they've been interested in the Rev Rider, working on their platform. So yeah, it's getting around.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And the beauty of that, with not to talk about another industry, but you have sealed motors. Everything's closed up.
Yep.
There's no open motors on the system, so that cementitious dust is brutal.
Yes.
So that's great.
Yes.
So we have an open platform.
Yep. We're looking at adding a vacuum system to the back.
So this will pretty much do everything but nail up a gym floor.
Correct. We've kept it very open, but who knows?
Really?
Yes.
All right. That's good stuff.
We always like to push the envelope.
Right. Hey, you know what? I just was looking at this. There's a unique piece, engineering behind this. Go ahead and explain what I'm talking about.
The whole dual mount?
Well, dual mount, and it's...
Oh, yeah. Well, the way we wanted to design a dual mount system that wasn't hinged together.
Right.
And because when you're sanding with two...
it's locked.
Yeah, they're locked, and you're sanding down the floor, and there's a dip. This one going down is going to pull the other one down, which is going to dip in and basically copy that same dip. So we wanted to come up with a independent suspension, I like to call it, where each rider is, able to do this independently.
Right.
And we all know that the gym floors are basically flat, because floors are flat, but there's little bits of differences. There's rolls.
Yep.
And if one is getting pulled by the other, you end up with problems. And we've talked to a lot of sanders that do gym floors, and that was one of their issues was, when they're connected, and there hasn't been any solution to that. So that was one of the things that was outside of the Rev Rider that we wanted to work on.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other, you look at what I'm sitting on.
Yep.
This is essentially an adapter, same unit.
Yep.
But for, say, an older style system where you have aftermarket control rods and extended handles.
Yep.
You can still use this unit.
Yep. This unit here is identical to this, except for the seat mount, where the seat is mounted on, and the seat, and the foot pegs. We added foot pegs here, so
Here and here.
Yep.
And you can show them your foot pegs.
My foot pegs are down here.
It kind of looks like motorcycle foot pegs.
We can move this thing around to do just about anything.
Yeah, it's almost like open source.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
You can adapt it. It's really cool.
Transformers.
Yeah, that's it. So, and what really piqued my interest, one was the battery operated. You said it was lithium battery.
Lithium battery.
And if it's proprietary.
No, it's not. It's out there on the open market.
But what caught my eye when I was reading the tech data, that it really doesn't matter if this unit is run on 60 hertz or 50 hertz because it's a charged battery.
Yeah.
So it takes that component, like that roadblock.
The overseas component is gone.
It's gone.
Because we've all had to think about how do you get someone in Europe to be able to hook up, a rider system that
and
is.
then, like, literally, it's not that basketball is going away in Europe, it's getting more popular. So, places like Ireland and Great Britain and the continent.
And talk about ballrooms.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, and dance floors over there, huge
Ballrooms,
industry.
dance floors. So these units can be used, running a single sander, like the floor crafter behind me here.
Yep, or a Hummel.
And easily adaptable. And you only have one power cord, and that's to run the sander.
Yep.
So,
and the beautiful thing is, when you're running a single sander or duals, but I'm talking in smaller situations, whether it be a ballroom floor like you were talking about before, if you need to get off the rider because you got to get into an area that's smaller, it's 2 seconds. I mean, there's 2 pins that connect. One pin goes, the other pin goes. You flip them up, and you're walking the machine.
And you're walking the machine without having to redo anything.
Right.
Mechanically, that is. On the unit.
Yeah, because we adapt to the machine in a stock environment.
Right.
So that
that's always been in the forefront.
Yes,
of
we've always wanted
going to work with that is going to be a stock piece of equipment.
Yes, and hooking up to it that we don't have to cut new holes.
Right.
We use existing holes in the machine in order to mount to it.
Right.
Now, I'm
so
not
like,
saying
like this.
Like
this
that
is the
one.
handle.
Yep.
The handle assembly is bolted to the chassis
that
here.
comes from American Sanders like that with
but
that
there's
bolt.
only 2 bolts.
Yep, and we use those.
And they're used to put the bar link on it. I mean, it's genius. It's
revolutionary. Thank you. We want to, I would love to say that every machine will be that way, but we may come upon a machine where there is just nothing to grab onto or to hook into. We might have to
put on it. Right.
And it was kind of like this one. There's usually some way to go. We had to build quite that flange thing there in order to, and then also have it stepped out back past that tension screw.
Yeah, no, and there's no doubt that, this rod and having that suspension different. There's a little example video where this unit was rolled up on our shop ramp and only one sander was up on the ramp, the other one was down on the floor, the testing floor.
Yeah, and it showed
you could see that movement where that sander was able to stay down. Just a great, what a great system, what a great idea. We're really excited about it. We think it's going to do some great things.
And this, we have completely over-engineered everything on this. We want it. I mean, it's made right in Wisconsin in our shop,
right?
And we went overboard.
Oh, I'm sure you could see it. You could see from the welds to the powder coating.
Yeah, I mean, we just
the large knobs. Just
make it easy.
Yeah, just make it easy.
Yeah, and then the wheels, we ended up going with a wide wheel because we had some thinner wheels on the front too, and then the rear wheel, we were getting some grain crush.
Yeah.
On some softer materials, not regular oaks and maples and stuff, but it was, I can't even remember, walnut or something.
But so we went with like the pivots, we
make those
serious bearings in there.
Yeah,
I can just see
it's heavy duty. I mean, it's like we want to make made in USA and make it proud.
That's it.
It's been fun. It's been an education, let me tell you.
So talk about the remote versus something that's articulated.
Okay.
That's a great.
Yep. When you're running with a machine with the link arms, when you got the link arms hooked in, you can articulate, meaning you can turn the floor sander left or right like he is. That gives you the ability to steer.
Right, because these guys, essentially something like this would be hooked right here and
triangulated.
You're able to to move, articulate, right?
Yep.
So this is what he's talking about with the articulation.
So anything with the link arms, you articulate. And then we have 2 modes on the controller. One is with the joystick and one is with the foot pedal. Foot pedal is only back and forth, and that's what we use when we articulate, because we can actually steer, and we don't need to worry about
you can
left
steer
and
the
right.
unit. Yep.
Now, if you're on a unit like this with the edger, you got to have the joystick in order to turn. I mean, you can't just,
there's no turn in the edge.
There's no turn. And plus, you got to be exact on the edge.
Yeah.
And then, when you make your second cut, you're 3 inches off, you know, so you want to be right on. And then like with buffers and trios and 3DSs, there's no articulation with those.
Those things are.
Yeah, so you got to use this to steer yourself. And those basically float too. You know how those run.
Yeah.
They float, so you got to basically be able to tell where to float.
Right. Yeah, I just keep looking at this edger thinking, you know, any apprentices or new mechanics that are coming into the industry,
Yeah.
you know, they may never know what it's like to bend over and edge a gym.
I would
You
hope
know,
so.
like that's
Yeah. At the most, there's about a 2-foot swath that we can't get into yet.
Right.
Yet.
yet. And
So-
again, it's an open design machine, so who knows what adapters,
Yeah.
you know, will come out of someone else's mind
Absolutely.
and call you up. and
Exactly.
say,
We
"Hey."
have a blog on our website, one website, where we're looking for people that own Rev Riders. Give us your feedback.
Right.
What do you like? What don't you like? What do you think it could do? What would you like to see it hooked up to? So we could, like you said, open source.
It's just,
keep
it's amazing.
going. Yeah.
It's so you know, if anyone has edged before anything, if you've edged a 10-foot by 10-foot room, you probably never want to do it again. It's just it's not good on the back. Not to mention that you have to do at least 2 cuts, probably 3,
Yeah.
with successive grits. Imagine a gym floor that's 125 feet long and 80 feet wide on the back end.
I can get around that in 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
In one cut.
And you know, just think, a guy's moving every 2 feet.
Yeah.
And moving his body, going 2
Yeah.
feet, moving his body, and
I haven't done it on a gym floor, but I've done it in many houses.
it's unbelievable that gets someone off their knees, off their back.
Yes.
Like,
And that was our original thing with the whole concept of keeping it small and with the edger attachment was
Right.
to get people off their backs and off
Yeah.
their knees.
that's a beauty.
Yeah.
And again, you can't believe how easy this is, and we'll have individual videos showing all of this stuff, but how easy it is to disconnect that edger from that Rev Rider unit and to disconnect the handle assembly and
Yeah.
the remote control. Like all of that stuff comes apart so that you can put the floor crafter back on, or you can, it's just,
Yeah, you can put the floor crafter, I mean, because really, like, this mount here will just stay on.
yeah.
And your link arms will just stay on. You know, and there's no reason to take them off. So you basically unscrew those, pop off the edger, and then stick. I mean, you're talking with a minute, you're on an edger.
And you're on an edger. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. And we've reduced cords.
Yep.
We've taken care of, you know, cycles of 50 hertz versus
Yep,
60
yep.
hertz. We've taken care of all kinds, you know, just OEM stock product instead of aftermarket product. All of that adding to cost and, you know, labor, edging. How long does it take one person to edge a gym, let alone 2 or 3 maybe on the gym edging? It's just incredible.
Yep. And you know, when they first came out with the original rider, I mean, hats off to them. I mean, they were designing something completely new for the gym floor guys. I mean, and they were solving a problem.
Yep.
So we saw that problem and saw we could simplify it, but add multiple different things that we could also do to it.
And was also the result for the manufacturer to do things like these feathering handles.
Yes.
Like all of that kind of
It all evolves.
evolved, and it evolved for to make that job, which is labor intensive,
Easier.
a little bit easier.
Yeah.
You know, a little more cost effective.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Jerry. And for sure, if you're interested in any of the components, the sanders themselves, the Rev Rider, you go to cityfloorsupply.com. We'll have videos about it on there. We'll have tech data sheets that you can download. We'll have links to Revolution so that you can connect with them and talk to them and get all the advice right from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
So appreciate your time and thanks for coming.
Hey, thank you.
You got
Look
it.
forward to it.